My people, let's talk about something serious today. Schools are meant to be safe places. They are our children's second homes. This is where they go to learn, to grow, and to build their future. We trust these places to protect them. We expect teachers to be like second parents, guiding our kids with care. But what happens when that trust is broken? What happens when the very place meant for learning becomes a source of fear and unfairness? It is a question we must all ask ourselves. The safety and fairness of our schools are not just important, they are the foundation of our society's future. A school should be a sanctuary. It is a special place where a child's mind can open up to the world. They learn about numbers, letters, and how the world works. But more than that, they learn about right and wrong. They learn how to be good citizens. If a child sees corruption or feels unsafe in school, what lessons are they really learning? This is a heavy thought. We send them off every morning, hoping for the best. We hope they are in good hands. We hope they are treated with respect. The well-being of our children in these institutions is something we cannot take for granted. The truth is, our schools today face serious problems. These are not small issues we can just ignore. They are deep problems that shake the very core of our education system. When stories of corruption and abuse come out, it hurts everyone. It hurts the students who are direct victims. It hurts the parents who feel helpless. It even hurts the good, hard-working teachers whose reputations get stained by the actions of a few bad ones. We must face these challenges head-on if we want to build a better tomorrow for the next generation. It is a collective responsibility for all of us. So it is very important that we talk about these things openly. We cannot pretend they do not exist. We need to understand why they happen and what we can do to stop them. Keeping our schools safe and fair is a duty we all share. It is about protecting the innocence of our children. It is about preserving the integrity of education. It is about ensuring that every single child, no matter who they are or where they come from, gets an equal chance to succeed. This is the conversation we need to have right now for the sake of our kids. Let's discuss this issue of bribery in our schools. It is a quiet poison that is spreading. Many people have heard stories about it. Some parents feel they have no choice but to participate. They want their children to pass exams and move to the next class. Sometimes the pressure is so much that they give gifts or money to teachers. This practice is sometimes called sorting. It has become a hidden part of the school system in some places. Parents might pay for special lessons that are really just a way to ensure their child gets a passing grade, whether they have earned it or not. Why does this happen? The reasons are complex. For some parents, it is born out of desperation. They see their child struggling and worry about their future. They believe that a little thank you gift to the teacher might make a difference. On the other hand, some teachers are not paid well. The government may not be funding schools properly. This leaves teachers feeling undervalued and underpaid, and some turn to these unethical means to make ends meet. It creates a very toxic environment where merit is no longer the main thing that matters. This cycle of corruption is damaging our educational standards. Think about the message this sends to our children. A child who knows their parents paid for their grades learns a very dangerous lesson. They learn that hard work is not as important as having money or connections. They learn that rules can be bent if you know the right people or pay the right price. This is not the moral compass we want to give our future leaders. We are teaching them that it is okay to cheat the system. This undermines their own self-confidence and their respect for education itself. It creates a generation that may not value honesty or integrity. This problem is not a small one. A recent report showed that a large percentage of parents in Nigeria admitted to paying bribes for their children's academic progress. This is happening in many states, from Adamawa to Lagos. The bribes can be anything from cash to food items or special favors. It has become so common that in some schools it is almost expected. The result is a decline in real learning. We see students graduating who can barely read or write. This is the real cost of bribery in our classrooms. It is a price our entire nation is paying. Now let's look at an even darker side of the problems in our schools' physical abuse. There was a very sad and shocking case that happened in January 2025. A video went viral, and it broke the hearts of many Nigerians. It showed a teacher at a school in Ikorodu, Lagos, repeatedly slapping a very young pupil. The boy, only 3 years old, was named Abayomi Michael. He was being punished during a writing lesson. The violence was extreme and difficult to watch. This was not discipline. This was an assault on a defenseless child in a place where he should have been safe. The video caused a massive public outcry, and for good reason. People were angry and demanded action. The teacher, Stella Nwadigo, was quickly identified and arrested by the authorities. The Lagos state government also got involved, launching a full investigation into the incident at Christ Method School. The little boy, Abayomi, had to be taken to the hospital. There were serious concerns that the repeated slaps to his head could have damaged his hearing. This case showed everyone a terrible reality. Our children are sometimes at risk from the very people we entrust with their care and education. The impact of such an event goes far beyond the physical injuries. For a young child like Abayomi, the psychological trauma can be deep and long-lasting. An experience like that can create a fear of school, of teachers, and of authority figures. It can cause anxiety and affect the child's ability to learn and trust others for years to come. The incident also affected the other pupils in the class who witnessed the abuse. They saw their classmate being hurt by their teacher, which can create a climate of fear throughout the entire school. It sends a message that violence is an acceptable way to solve problems. This case is a painful reminder that we must be vigilant. It highlights a complete failure of the system that is supposed to protect our children. A classroom should be a place of encouragement, patience, and support, especially for young learners who are just starting their educational journey. What happened to Abayomi Michael was a betrayal of that fundamental trust. It showed that while we worry about things like bribery, we must also confront the shocking reality of physical abuse that can happen behind closed classroom doors. It is a wake-up call for every parent, school administrator, and policymaker in the country. When terrible things like bribery and abuse happen, how does the system respond? In the case of the abuse at Christ Method School, the response was swift. The teacher was arrested and the government promised a full investigation. The state reaffirmed its zero-tolerance policy for child abuse in schools. These actions are very important. They send a clear message that such behavior will not be tolerated and that there are serious consequences. This is a crucial step in holding people accountable. When the public sees that action is being taken, it helps to restore a little bit of faith in the system. However, reacting to problems after they happen is not enough. We need to be proactive. We need to build systems that prevent these things from happening in the first place. Governments and school authorities must do more. This includes better funding for schools so that teachers are paid a living wage. A well-paid teacher is less likely to feel the need to demand bribes. It also means we need stricter vetting and background checks for anyone who wants to work with children. Regular training on modern, non-violent teaching methods and child psychology should be mandatory for all teachers. So what can we, as a community, do? Parents need to be more involved. We should build strong parent-teacher associations where we can discuss issues openly and honestly. Parents must also teach their children that their worth is not tied to a test score. We must resist the temptation to take shortcuts through bribery because it harms the entire system. We should empower our children to speak up if they feel unsafe or see something wrong. Creating an open channel of communication between children and parents is one of the most powerful tools we have to ensure their safety at school. Ultimately, making our schools safer and fairer for every child requires a collective effort. It is not just the government's job. It is not just the school's job. It is everyone's responsibility. We need better policies, better teacher training, and better pay. We need stronger oversight from regulatory bodies. But we also need active and principled involvement from parents and the wider community. We must work together to rebuild the broken walls of trust and create learning environments where every child feels valued, safe, and ready to achieve their full potential. Our future depends on it.